Welcome to Viben Gold, a collection of guided meditations put into podcast form for your easy listening. My name is Vivian Gerard, and I will be walking with you through the intoxicating now moments of life here on this planet. These audios are intended to be used as a full meditation if you want to close your eyes, settle down into a comfy spot, and let your subconscious come all the way forward. Or it can simply be some background conversation where the nuggets of information that you most need will make their way into your awareness. Whichever way it works for you, I invite you to open up and enjoy fully this journey of life that we are all taking together. So much love to you.
Good morning and welcome to Soulshine. So, I'm going to start with reading a few lyrics this morning. I woke up with this song called Home by American authors singing in my head. So I turned it on and I've probably played it 4 times already this morning. And it just feels like the right way to start this call today. You know, here we are at October. It's changing of the seasons. There's been a huge shift in I think just the energy, the vibration on this planet. It just feels like people are charged up and ready for something to be different. And so these words are just such beautiful guidance. So I'm going to read you some of the lyrics and then we'll drop into meditation. It's called Home, American authors. It says, I've got these letters tattooed on my arm that remind me each second of where I come from and the long, hard road to guide me back home. Back to my mama who raised me upright, and back to my lady I held every night. It's a long, hard road trying to get home. I've been gone now for too long. I'm not trying to stop a hurricane. I'm not trying to shake the ground below. I'm just trying to find a way to make it back home. I'm not trying to part the ocean waves. I'm not trying to overthrow the throne. I'm just trying to find a way to make it back home. I've got this image engraved in my mind of a light that I had in a whole different time. It still breathes and lives at the end of the road. I've seen mountains and valleys through my missing days, but I never once parted with how you begged me to stay. I will run down that long, hard, and treacherous road to make it back home. I've been gone for so long, but my heart it carries on as it pounds like a drum on my journey back home. I've been gone for so long, but my heart it carries on. I won't give up. The song is so good. You'll have to listen to it when you get a chance. But it is such a beautiful reminder of the point of meditation. It is always to come back to us, to our own home inside of ourselves, and the space inside there that holds that light that we just never, ever forget or lose touch with. So let us play. Let us play. Go ahead and settle yourself in wherever you are in this moment, whether you're sitting or laying down. And let's start with breath, as always. So go ahead and just notice the pace of your breathing. When I think of that song or I hear it, it's such a sigh of relief inside my whole body. I can just feel like, oh yeah, somebody gets it, right? Someone understands. And the words, let me feel safe. Let me feel safe dropping back in. So go ahead and notice your breathing and then slow it down. Find a rhythm that feels easy. There's no effort. There's no struggling or trying to control. You're just literally flowing with your breath as it goes in and out. Yeah, when you do your exhales, long, slow, and out through the mouth. And then notice as you do that how it starts to settle you into your body. So breath can bring you back in. It can bring you back down. down into the center of the seat of your soul, right down at the root of your hips. And then as you do the exhale, let go of anything that feels like it's ready to be moved in this moment. You don't even need to know what it is. Just sigh, exhale it out. Release some of the pressure, perhaps, that has been sitting inside of you that just needs the space for movement, and breath provides the space. Good. Good, and then let's call all of your parts and pieces back into your physical body in this moment. It's so funny when I say that, I literally picture like little nuggets of myself like floating around somewhere in the world or with other people, you know, and they hear the signal, right? They turn, all those little parts and pieces go, wait, someone is calling us back. It's us, right? Let's all come back into this moment. I think cartoons are such a great way for us to give vision or form to something that seems cartoonish, ridiculous, right? So make yourself the main character in a cartoon right now. And just imagine you have this superhero power, and there are all these little parts and pieces that are you, that you have lovingly or grudgingly distributed during your week. So some of those parts and pieces are at work or with your family or at school or in the kitchen or in your bed because you'd rather still be asleep. You know, whatever the parts and pieces, wherever they are, whoever they're with, imagine in this moment that the cartoon character that is you goes, hey, changing the scene here, changing the reality of the cartoon, and we're calling all of those pieces back into this moment, back into this physical body. Because your physical body and your energetic body, when they're combined, are unstoppable. They are so powerful when they're working together. So as you call those pieces back, you can almost imagine you're watching the cartoon in the different boxes, or I forget what you call those little scenes, but you know, as you look at the different parts of the comic strip or the cartoon visual, you can see some of the pieces arrive. And so as you feel energetically yourself arriving here, notice what it might look like in a cartoon image. You know, does it stick on the outside of you, or does your body allow energy to come all the way into the physical, inside? And then it's like a hug, right? A welcoming back of your energy into this moment. And then as more pieces come back, notice if it starts to feel filled up inside your cartoon character. If it does, imagine that the cartoon character has longer legs and you can stretch, and all that energy can start to run down the legs and go all the way to the feet. And then suddenly there's room in the chest again for more energy to arrive back. And settle your body as it comes in. Often when we are in busy mode and we're working through our list or taking care of lots of people or activities, you know, we're busy external out. And so we get used to that feeling of lightness inside of our body, or that feeling of, I don't know quite the words. It's like, it's hollowish. It's a little empty inside, but it's filled up with a lot of activity, so it feels tight or full. But it's very different than the feeling of your energy being inside your body and you being filled up with yourself. So perhaps if you're looking at this as a cartoon character, see if you can notice inside that image how much of what's inside the cartoon is my stuff, my energy, my heart, and how much of what's inside there actually belongs to other people or other activities. And you can give them different colors if you want inside of you, so then you can go, okay, the color that isn't mine, I'm just going to drain that out my feet, or I'm just going to breathe that energy out, right? We hold so much for other people because we love them, and we don't want them to hurt. But when we do that, then we get filled up, and there's no room for our energy. And what most serves the world is for us to be fully whole and complete in ourselves, because then we're just magic. Then we're just amazing love. So notice what's happening inside of you and sort out, take a minute here, sort out what is mine, trying to come back in, and what is others that needs to be released. And use breath, right? You can just breathe out anything that feels tight that doesn't belong to you. If you notice that you're struggling to let go of something or someone, you know, that space inside of you is like, no, don't make me give up that thing. I really like that thing. Notice why. Take a look at it for a moment. Why does it feel so hard to let go of that energy that isn't actually yours in the first place? Right? The only thing we actually own or have is our energy and our time. Everything else, it's not ours. It's so funny, I can feel my teeth gritting, like, don't. So someone is definitely feeling a match to that, like, I don't want to give that up. Don't make me give that up. Yeah, it's okay. You don't have to give it up, but at least have awareness of why it's showing up at this moment. And then take that into your own meditation time later or another day. Right? I wonder what that was about. I wonder why I feel that resistance to letting go of those pieces. All right, breath in and see if you can pull back even more of your energy into this moment. If you're looking at the cartoon image, you can see how filled up am I with my parts and pieces coming back in. If it looks like a jigsaw puzzle, you know, are there 5 pieces missing or still 100 pieces missing? And what I know to be true is your energy is 100% under your awareness, your control. So if you choose to call all of your energy back into you in this moment, and you sincerely mean it, all of your energy will come back to you in this moment. None of your energy belongs to anybody else. And so it's always just a choice, right? How much do I want to be present? How much do I want to pull myself back into this moment? How filled up with me do I choose to be right here and right now? And no judgment, just notice what you're willing to receive back of yourself. Yep, and then settle your system. So use breath. Use breath to just relax all the muscles. If you're holding on tight or gripping or resisting, just notice what your muscles and your body is telling you. Open your shoulders up so you can stretch out your heart space a little more. When we resist or we're afraid perhaps of being fully present, what I find for myself is my shoulders hunch in and I kind of go sort of protecting my heart space. You know, my body comes around my heart. And so notice if that's a match for you also, and how simple it is to open our heart space back up by simply stretching our shoulders back and sitting up straight and letting that heart shine straight forward instead of when we're hunched over, it shines down to the ground. Yeah, so settle everything down. If you're gritting your teeth or hunching your shoulders, just notice, love yourself through it. And then feel the energy go all the way down to your feet and all the way up to the top of your head. So you're just balancing it out with inside of your own body. Good. Good work. Good work coming back into this moment and calling your energy home. People write songs about that. It's really a difficult process. So good job doing that. Okay. Sometimes I crack myself up. That was funny. People write songs about that. All right. Bring your attention to your feet. So funny. Okay, and let's hook into the earth. So you can wiggle your feet and you can feel the toes gripping the carpet. If you're laying down or you have your legs stretched out in front of you, make sure your legs are uncrossed and then feel your heels connecting into the earth or whatever surface is underneath you that's above the earth. And then you can visualize whatever feels right to you. I always do roots. You can do beams of light. You could do anything that feels like it's going to connect you. If you stay with a cartoon character, you can imagine the cartoon character has these power boots, that go straight down like jets into the earth. You can totally play with whatever feels right. But in this moment, what we're choosing for ourselves is connection with the earth, which is always supporting us and always providing what we need, oxygen and water and food, shelter, shade. The earth provides all of that. It's funny, I just got an image of Survivor, the TV show. Literally, they are out on an island, and the island can provide what they need. It's perhaps not the most optimal way to live, but the earth has everything that we need to survive. And so notice in this moment how your connection feels with the earth. So perhaps you're in survivor mode, right? I'm just going to allow the tiniest of connections in with the earth because I'm sure I've got it all figured out up here. Or I can't possibly bother the earth with my needs when there are so many others who need so much more. Or I have to prove that I'm good enough in order for the earth to want to support me. We have so many belief systems and stories that we've told ourselves. So in this moment, just notice anything that comes up as you hook into the earth. It's your subconscious, your mind showing you the doorway to something that can perhaps be improved or be released or be expanded upon. So notice what comes up. Right? I feel in my legs, even though I did a lot of rooting before I got on the call, I noticed in my legs a little bit of like trembliness or wobbliness. And like my, how would I describe it? It feels like resistance. Like I've already taken a lot this morning with the earth. I've already, gone all the way down and handed over and pulled back up. And really, can I come back and do more? Yes. Yes. That's what the earth agreed to. That is what the planet is holding for all that, inhabit her cocoon. I love that we call her Mama Earth, It feels like the earth is a womb, an incubation space, and as we come and go as souls through human incarnations, as we come and go through this planet, the Mama Earth holds us and nurtures us and provides for us. So it would be like telling a baby who is nursing with a mom Don't nurse too much. Don't take too much of her milk. Don't hold on too tight. Don't let her cuddle you too much, right? We would never say that. We would never say that to a baby. So just multiply that by the billions of people on this planet and the size and scope and strength of this planet, and then claim your place in this moment, in this connection with the earth. Claim what she offers, and then allow yourself to receive that. So it can look like roots going, go a mile down today. Yeah, just imagine the roots from the bottoms of your feet where the light beams, they start to dance and weave through the dirt. It's like when you watch those little videos on Nature Channel or whatever channels they show them, and it's one camera that does a time lapse of a mushroom, for example, that's growing, or a bamboo shoot, and you can see when they put all of the scenes together, this fast motion of something growing. Imagine that in reverse, going underneath the earth so you can see the roots dancing and weaving down through the dirt, spreading out sideways, going diagonal down, hitting a marker of half a mile down and spreading out sideways and creating a big, wide web underneath you. And then continuing to dance another half a mile down. And if you notice that you're starting to hunch over or your stomach is feeling tight and dense, awesome. Awesome. That's your body reacting to this pulling down in, this rooting into the earth that you choose for yourself. If you don't feel that, notice what you do feel. Maybe it's a tightening in your legs, or maybe your feet feel like you couldn't pick them up even if you wanted to. And then use your breath to settle your body, to tell it it's okay. Stretch your shoulders up and back again. Lean back into the chair or whatever you're sitting against or lying down on. And then perhaps shift it from doing, right? I notice this for myself. When I root, I lean over and it's like I'm trying to push the roots down into the earth in my imagery. So move from doing to being. What if you could just sit here and relax? What if you're laying down and you can just feel your body melting? In yoga, our instructor says, melting into the mat. And I love that visual. Every bone, every muscle relaxes so much that it just melts, it dissolves. What if that becomes your partnership with the earth? It's gentle and it's literally about receiving the support. Not having to do anything or prove or go through a checklist, but just laying here receiving the earth holding you. And you can just hand over whatever feels heavy or tired or stuck. All right, just a hand over, just a sigh and exhale. You don't even need to know why or what or where or when, just release. Yeah, and this may take a minute. You may have a lot to offload. I notice that when I do my meditation, I end up yawning for 10 or 15 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much energy to move out that isn't mine. So just trust, let it feel like a waterfall all the way through the bottom of your body if you're laying down, or through your feet if you're sitting up. And take your time. You may have accumulated a lot of stuck places this week, this weekend, this morning. So just allow your body to feel safe enough to hand it over. And notice you're not handing over your energy, your strength, your power. You're handing over anything that stands in the way of you feeling your own power, your own strength, your own love. And if you've handed it all over, just feel the security of being in the womb of Mama Earth for a moment. They have these new zero gravity tanks where you can lay in water and you're floating, and I haven't done them, but it's supposed to feel like being in the womb again. I believe you can feel that way in meditation also. You just make this choice that you hand over the stuff that isn't yours. And it clears out the busy activity of the brain. And it allows you to just feel you, supported, held, cocooned. The beauty of this is it creates a new baseline in your energy system, in your soul. It creates a set point that you can come back to over and over. Right? This is like the words in that song, the light, that light deep inside of me. And I believe it never leaves. It's always here. We just have to clear out some of the stuff in the way so we can come back. Good. Good. Go ahead and imagine from the center of your feet or your heels that you can allow Earth to just send you nutrients, support, love, energy, whatever name you want to give it, sparkly gold, pixie dust. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. But feel your ability, your openness to receive. So notice what your feet are doing as I'm saying that. I noticed my toes were kind of wiggling and my feet were sort of lifting up off the carpet like, oh. So notice what your feet are doing. And then just see how willing is my system to receive beautiful love, divine support through the earth. You may have to, I don't want to use the word have to, you could choose to hold your feet really steady just to see what happens. If it feels intense, you can, try play with one foot versus the other, like maybe lift your left foot up and keep your right foot down, or the opposite. And just see, how willing am I to receive? If you're hearing me say this and you don't even know what I'm talking about, hello, welcome back. You might have checked out for a moment. If so, what we're talking about is receiving. Receiving a little love, receiving a little extra support from the earth. And so notice how open you are to having that happen in your space. Yeah, and then just feel like if Mama was holding her baby and she had chosen this baby, she had selected this baby to come down to earth and play with her, would she limit how much love she would give that baby? Would she limit how much she would nurse the baby and say, no, you only get to do this once a day, right? Once a day is all you get. No. That version of a mama is just all over the baby, all about the baby. And so start opening up to the possibility that you could have that same relationship with the earth. that you can choose to receive, open up to receiving, and then relax your body enough to just let it arrive. So what it feels like for me when I choose to receive is like a tingly sensation that comes in my feet, like not pinpricks because those are harsh, but like a tickle or a soft massage perhaps, but lighter even than that. And I can feel the energy when it arrives at the bottoms of my feet and starts to come up my legs. It's like I can sense that there is something moving inside of my body that is alive, that has presence. I'm trying to think of the words, and it's difficult to put words to it, but there is a sense that something new, something vibrant is coming through my body and rinsing it from the inside. And so just play with that. What if that is true also for you? And so your body in this moment can just receive the energy of the earth. It's the momentum, that's probably the best word, the momentum that you sense when you're watching a wave come towards shore. There's no stopping that movement of the water. When you choose to receive from the earth, there's no stopping the movement of the energy that wants to come up through your body and fill you up with energy, fill you up with vibrancy. The place where the momentum gets stopped is when we choose to stop it at our feet, when we choose to not allow it to come in and through. So you change that one choice right at your feet, and then all of a sudden the momentum of like joy, of laughter, of love, of energy, it just can go whoosh like a wave right through your body, and then rinse out the top of your crown. And the cool thing about waves is they always keep coming. There's always another wave behind it. And so you can literally sit in a meditation space and just feel like a wave of energy come through your feet, wash through your body, go out your crown. And then another inhale breath, you can go, right? And you can just feel the waves of energy moving through your body. And then it becomes a game of, can I just receive? Can I sit in this chair with my shoulders back, my heart open, my feet open to the earth, and just feel energy waving through my body? Yeah, do that once or twice a day, and you will be amazed at how much more you get accomplished. If you're a doer, this being can literally shift, it can shift everything in your life. Okay. Yeah, so Source. I feel like we connected with Source with that wave of energy coming through, but let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, what I feel today for myself, so I'll share it with you, is this big, wide hand at my back. To me, it just feels like when a parent is guiding a child, or when a husband is guiding a wife and there are lots of people around and it's crowded. You know, sometimes you just feel that hand at your back that says, I'm right here, I'm supporting you, and we're going to move through this crowd, we're going to move through this congestion of energy into a space that feels more clear. And I feel that today, like this really steady, large presence of a hand in the center of my back, not in a controlling way or even giving direction. It doesn't even feel like that. Like we don't have to go left or right or forward. We could actually just stop right here if we wanted. But my fingers are tingling as I say this. But just this steadiness of, I see you and I'm here. And that is enough. Right? And we do this together. Yeah, because if those lyrics are true about coming back home. Coming back home is coming back in. It isn't about getting to something or getting to somewhere or a direction. It's coming in. And so having a hand at our back that would be forcing us to go one way or another or pushing us to go forward would contradict that understanding of home for me. A steady hand that is just holding space and confirming, we do this as a team. That feels beautiful. Yeah, why don't we take just a minute and let you tune into whatever that version of Source looks and feels like to you in this moment. And then just see if this hand was to say something to me. Is there something for me to know today? Okay. All right, come all the way back into your body. So if you've been floating, hello, come back. Ground back in. Yeah, so here we are. It's October. It's October. We are 9 months complete with 2016. And I was feeling that this morning, when I was being still and quiet. I was like, we are 3/4 of the way through this year, and it feels like the year just started. And to me, that offers a chance to pause and just check in for a minute. When I started the year, I have these goals, I have these expectations. I believe I'm going to see these shifts in different areas of my life. And then time moves very quickly. And so this marker feels like a beautiful moment to pause and just feel. So let's do that for a moment together. Take yourself back to 1/1/2016, wherever you were, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. It feels like yesterday and it feels like 5 years, right? So go and just notice, like when you started the year, well, I'll add this in. So the themes for October and a lot of the astrological reports I've been reading, they talk about balance, this fine line between being and doing. And then also relationships. This month is going to be a big opportunity to look at our relationships and clear out the stuck places and open up the new possibilities. I feel like we have that every month, but apparently the planets are really putting emphasis on it this month. So as you go back to the beginning of 2016, look at your being versus doing in your life that you had then. And then just take a minute, let your mind wander through the months, all the way through here to October. How have you done with balancing being and doing? And don't judge yourself. This isn't about judgment, like we get a checklist at the end of this examination and it's an A, a B, or an F. It's not that at all. It's awareness. It's noticing. It's bringing attention to. so that you have the most powerful option to choose. Do I do it the way I've been doing it? Do I do something different? Am I happy with what I've created? Am I frustrated or disappointed with what I've created? It's not about shaming ourselves or evaluating. It's interesting, right? Look at how I do that. So notice being versus doing this year. That can also mean out versus in, right? How much time have you created for yourself to be really still and listen, to come back home, right? How have you done with coming back home to that light inside? Does that light feel like it's had enough nurturing, enough support that it's ready to shine brighter? If that's the case, look at how you're doing without, being out, going out, sharing that light, shining that light so other people can feel the brilliance of it, can learn from it. Yeah, notice your journey from January till now. Here we are, the beginning of October. The changing of the seasons, right? My friend Andrea Henkel said it way more eloquently than I did, but she describes, as we move from spring to summer and then from summer to fall and fall to winter, each of those transitions brings something new in the physical body and the energetic body. And so as we move from the fullness, the warmth, the heart of summer into this getting ready for winter, cocooning in perhaps a little more, harvesting what we've worked on over the summer. Yeah, just notice what comes up as I say all of this. Are you excited about the next 3 months as we wrap up 2016, or are you frustrated? Are you concerned? Is there too much still to do? Whatever it's bringing up right now, just notice it. The beauty of pausing to look at this is when you have full awareness, your power to choose completely shifts. So suddenly you're not the victim of time, right? Like, oh, you mean the year ended? I didn't notice? What happened? How did the year end? Right? There's no victimization of it. You're empowered. You stand firmly and you say, oh, so I have 3 more months. Wow, 3 months. Do you know what I can get done in 3 months? Do you know how much stillness I can carve out for myself in 3 months? Right? There's this opportunity to completely change how your year ends. So perhaps in this moment, just looking at the being and doing before we look at relationships. When you're looking at being versus doing, is there something you want to claim for yourself for the next 3 months? Maybe it's just for the next week or two or the next month, and then after that it shifts again. But notice in this moment, is there anything that you choose to do that becomes a promise to yourself? You don't even have to share it. But is there something you promise yourself in this moment of how you're going to complete this year of 2016? And it might be the opposite of what you would normally be. So if you're a very quiet internal person, the commitment you might be making to yourself is, oh God, oh God, I'm going to be more external. I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to try, meet new people or go to new places or do new things. Right? I'm scared, but I'm doing it. So that at the end of the year, I can look back and go, ooh, there was that clear moment in October where I knew I wanted the year to end differently, and look what I've created in those 3 months. Right? You take yourself to the outcome at the end of it, and you go, whoa, it's going to feel so good when I know I created that for myself, and so I choose in this moment to do it differently. Even if it's scary as hell, I choose differently. Or you could be the opposite. You could be very external, busy, social, right? And what you might find is, I'm not so sure I'm clear on that light that is mine. I know how I am the light for other people. I know how I hold the light for all those around me. And yet, what's my light mean to me? What do I want to explore about my light? And that might mean a shift in your schedule and your activities, right? So if you're busy, it might mean saying no, or it might mean putting your meditation time first in your schedule and then pushing other people back a little bit and going, yes, I can after my time. And it might feel selfish, but can you imagine how good that would feel to hear? I would have loved hearing that from my parents. I mean, we're in a different age, but I would have loved it if my mom had said, I need to meditate, and when I'm calm, you can come hang out with me. Like, that would have been so fun, right? And I say that to my children. I'm like, you don't want to talk to me right now. You really don't. You want to talk to me after I've meditated, because I will be a much nicer, kinder person because of that cocoon, that opportunity to go in. I lose my judgment in that space. I lose my anger or resentment that I've been holding on to. It just clears out. And so I can just show up open. So if this is you, give yourself permission, right? I claim time for me first, because I'm going to be a better person for everyone around me when I sit with my own light. And then allow yourself to imagine at the end of the year, at the end of 2016, as you look back, how will it feel to have created a consistent practice where it's just you with you a little bit each day? How much more deeply will you know yourself because of all those small moments along the way to the end of the year? Good. And then my invitation is, whatever you've committed to yourself, if you have, be impeccable with your word. My daughter is a huge advocate of the 4 agreements, and she quotes them all the time to me, which I love. And that is one of the agreements, is be impeccable with your word. If you say you're going to do something, honor for yourself what you said you were going to do. Good. Okay, so we look at relationships. The balance of being and doing, a lot of that plays out in our relationships also. And I had written a couple notes like, okay, let's look at relationship with self first, which I think we actually just did, right? What is your relationship with your own light, and how do you explore that more deeply and honor that first? First, above all else, how do you love yourself and honor yourself and that light, that integrity that is you? So the next thing, and we're going to take a little bit of time with this, what I would love is for the first name that pops up as I say this. So it could be your partner, your coworker, your friend, your child, your parent, anyone, your animal, someone who's passed on, someone who's still here. It really doesn't make a difference. But whatever name first pops up for you, let's explore your relationship with that person. And if it's the beloved that you've never had, that you've always wanted, allow it to be that. Whatever energy it is that shows up first is the one that your subconscious is most wanting you to take a look at. So trust. Even if it feels like a crazy one to look at, trust. That is the one that you're supposed to start with. Okay, so imagine an image of that person or animal person or animal right in front of you. And then notice any emotions that are coming up inside of you as you feel that other person's energy. And take your time with this. So there may be layers to the emotion. For example, when I've had my children disappear for a moment in a store in the past, or I can't find them somewhere in the house and I think they've left, this is when they were much younger, there's that initial rush of joy when you see them, like, oh, thank God, you're safe. And then it's followed by this deep anger, right? Like, how dare you run away and not listen to me? And the fear that comes with that. And so there are all these complex layers of emotion that rush through you when you're in that initial moment of finding them again. So honor anything that's coming up in you as you trust whoever it is that showed up. Sort through the layers of it. Feel, if it's this, okay, I didn't realize that was an emotion I had for that person. And then imagine if it's anger, you can pick anger up and you can just put it on the side. Okay, here's anger, I see that. And then feel whatever is underneath that or next to that. Okay, here's grief. I didn't know anger and grief were so closely connected. I'm going to put grief over here to the side. Right? Take your time and just move through the layers of it. You can have 5 little buckets of emotion if you want, or 10. I'm going to be quiet for a moment, just let you feel whatever is coming up. Just don't be overwhelmed by the emotion. Allow it to come up, touch it, feel it, and then put it in a bucket right in front of you so that you have all of it sort of spaced out in between you and that person. So go ahead and take a moment for that. Use your breath to settle your body. And then find the layer underneath that one. Good, and then relax your body again. It's just energy, it's just a relationship, even if it's a complex one. Yeah. It's interesting, how relationships, as humans, that's the point, right? Our relationships are our greatest teachers. We go to school, we get degrees, we think we're super important and intelligent, and then we get humbled by a child, or we get humbled by a partner. And we're like, what? I thought I was so wise. I thought I had it all figured out. And then this? What? That's why we're here. That's the point of human experience. It's to connect. It's to grow and stretch. And we do that best through people, through humans, through relationships with animals. Yeah, so go ahead and take a step back. Get yourself a little bit of perspective. So imagine you can energetically move a foot or 2 or 10 feet back from all those buckets of emotion, from the person that you're having this energetic exchange with. Just pull yourself back a little bit. Let yourself land there. Feel your feet connecting you into the earth. And then imagine you can stand up, walk around, take a look at this relationship with a little more perspective. When we're right up in the middle of it, we can get overwhelmed or we can get tunnel visioned, right? I see you and you always look this way and that is exactly what I expect you to do and this is exactly how I knew it would go. We're in such a pattern with those people that sometimes it's hard to step back a little bit and go, okay, what's really happening here? Right? This is This is what people are often advised to do with their businesses. You get in the nitty-gritty of it, and you're tunnel-visioned on details. What if you just step way back and you go, okay, I'm here as a soul to be in relationship with lots of people and to learn different things and to have these lessons expand my heart, expand my consciousness. So in that commitment to expansion, I'm going to step way back and I'm going to look at the scope of this relationship with this person, not just right now what's happening, but maybe the scope over weeks, months, years, a whole lifetime, right? If it's your relationship with your parents, look at the scope of when you were a baby and they took care of you, when you left for school, right? You stepped into this independent space, how that shifted things. So whatever relationship you're looking at, look at it as the whole, not just here in this moment. What have you been learning? What opportunities are there to learn something new? As we look at this balance of being and doing, right? If you've been very still and quiet and calm in this relationship, perhaps there's more action that you need to be taking. There's more stepping into the activity, the business, the work, whatever it is. If you've been doing or pushing, perhaps there's an opportunity to get really still and quiet, to be more reflective, to hold more space for the other person to be in action and doing. Right? In all relationships, there's this ebb and flow, this expansion, contraction, this sometimes they need more, sometimes I need more. So notice as you look at the scope of the relationship, has one been taking more, one been giving more? No judgment if it has, but just notice the pattern. Has it always been balanced? If so, right now, does one need more, where the balance needs to get pushed a little bit or adjusted a little bit? If you are looking at a relationship with someone who has transitioned or passed away, there may be nothing you can feel like you can do. So perhaps there's a bit of victimization, like, well, now they're gone, and what do I do now? Love is energy. It doesn't end. So if there's something that needs to be said from your heart, if there's something that needs to be shared, if there's anger or emotion that needs to be voiced, create some space in your schedule for action, for saying, for speaking, for yelling, for crying, for whatever it is that needs to move in you to find a way to release. Because not only do you keep yourself trapped, if you're feeling all of that and not expressing it or moving it, you keep the love, the expansion of that person you are in relationship with connected to your limitation too. So you doing that work would open space for both of you. There's so much that you can explore in this space of relationship. So I think what serves most right now is this opening, right? Showing you this opening of what is possible, of perhaps what you've called in with this person, a reminder, right, that there are lessons, there's magic and healing here. But it takes space for that. It takes attention, awareness, willingness to look at it, quiet space to be with it, and then perhaps action, doing, that comes from that quiet space. So we're not going to wrap this one up with a pretty bow in this moment, but it's an opening. It's an opening, which is what meditation always provides, right? We come back home, and then we identify what most needs to shift or be looked at or explored in our human journey. So for this moment, imagine you can just bubble or protect all of this back up. You can put it into a quiet space somewhere in your heart or in your soul that says, I'm coming back. I'm going to look at this again. It was just the beginning. So close all of that up. And then I want you to feel your feet on the floor. Anything that's come up in you that needs to be released, that feels heavy or stuck or wants to move in this moment, go ahead and just open those feet up and hand it over to Mama Earth. Right? Just like a baby would cry if their feelings were hurt or their diaper was wet, right? They would just cry and the mama would hold and fix and take care of. So you just hand it over to the earth. And then imagine the earth can just turn that energy around and recycle. And then send up to your feet purified energy, pure love. Just like the momentum of the wave again. So feel that wave of energy come all the way in through your feet. It's a choice, right? So you can choose to end the meditation feeling heavy and dense, or you can choose to put all of it to the side, knowing you'll come back, and then feel the momentum of, I have this whole day in front of me to be present, to be kind, to be love, to play, to dance, to explore, to delight in the magic of momentum. And then just feel it, the wave just kind of washing through your body and coming out through the top of your head. Right? You can do it a couple more times. So just feel the wave moving through your feet, gently through your body, and out through the top of your head. Yeah, and then you can just relax back. Allow yourself just to feel your body, this moment, the awareness of being home, being home. So good. So good. I will post that song so that you can listen to that if you would like, but yeah, it's beautiful. All right, my loves. So much love to you. Have an amazing day today.